Picture walking down the aisle on your wedding day, only to notice that the front rows on your side are completely empty, your own family choosing a vacation instead of standing beside you. That's exactly what happened to me. It became the moment that reshaped how I understood love, loyalty, and the real meaning of family. Stay with me because this is the story of how betrayal became the fuel for my strength, and why protecting your own boundaries can sometimes be the purest form of self-respect. My name is Emily. I'm 32 years old and work as a software engineer in Seattle. After 5 wonderful years with Ethan, the man I love, we decided to set our wedding date on the same day we first met. Everything seemed flawless until my sister Jessica called me one evening, upset. Her newly booked 3-week trip to Europe clashed with our wedding day. Before I go deeper, let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and hit like and subscribe if your own family drama has ever made your struggles feel smaller. Growing up, I was close to my parents, Gerald and Patricia, and to Jessica. As the eldest daughter, I was the one who carried the responsibility. I stayed close to home for college to care for my ailing grandmother and worked extra jobs when my father lost his. When Ethan entered the picture, he fit into our family effortlessly. He shared a love of photography with Jessica, bonded over sports with Dad, and earned everyone's approval. That acceptance meant the world to me. Planning the wedding was intense but exciting. Ethan and I worked additional shifts to afford our dream ceremony at a charming barn overlooking Puget Sound. We had already put down a $3,000 non-refundable deposit. The date mattered deeply. It marked the night Ethan spilled his drink on me at a party, the clumsy moment that brought us together. We mailed out save the dates to 150 guests, and I even had a custom dress designed. Everything was locked in, until Jessica's phone call. She had booked her vacation after knowing our date, brushing it off by saying the discount was too good to pass up and that it couldn't be changed. She suggested we reschedule our entire wedding to accommodate her trip, dismissing the deposit and all our careful planning. I explained it wasn't possible, but she kept insisting that her trip was once in a lifetime. Soon my parents took her side. My mom called me stubborn, my dad sent messages full of disappointment, and even my supportive grandmother, Sarah, urged me to be flexible. Jessica began posting on social media about family loyalty, which felt like a direct jab at me. Ethan and I arranged a meeting with my family to calmly explain the financial strain and show our budget. Instead of listening, they ambushed us. Jessica broke into tears about her dream trip, and my mom dismissed our concerns by saying it was just money. Then came the ultimatum: either change the date or they wouldn't come. I sat there stunned but refused to budge. "We're keeping the date," I told them firmly. My mother's response was icy. "Then we won't be there." We left crushed but resolute. The following weeks were brutal. My calls and emails went unanswered. Jessica flaunted her travel plans online. We kept preparing for the wedding, though grief shadowed everything. Vendors asked about my family, and explaining their absence cut me every time. Ethan held me together, while his family offered unconditional support. The worst moment came when Grandma Sarah called. She admitted she wouldn't attend, pressured by my mother. That night I suffered a panic attack. A week later, a formal letter arrived from my parents, stating they would not be at the wedding because of my selfishness. Ethan and I wept, but we chose to go forward on our date, surrounded by the people who truly valued us. Our wedding day was beautiful, though the empty front rows screamed louder than any words. When I read my vows, I promised Ethan that we would build a family rooted in love without conditions. Friends like Michelle filled the gaps, stepping up with heartfelt speeches that made me feel supported. We danced, laughed, and began our married life. Our honeymoon in Hawaii was a much-needed escape, though the silence from my family still hurt. Returning home, holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even my birthday felt empty without them. Then, 8 months later, an invitation arrived for Jessica's wedding. There was no apology, just an expectation that I would show up. My parents and Jessica called, pressuring me to move on. But then I learned from Grandma Sarah that Jessica had booked her trip on purpose, out of jealousy over my spotlight. With Ethan's encouragement, I declined her invitation, sending only a thoughtful gift. Their anger didn't shake me. Instead, Ethan and I spent that weekend hiking in Olympic National Park, choosing peace over drama. A year later, as we were expecting our daughter Lily, I reached out to my parents. We met at a restaurant, and though the atmosphere was tense, my mom finally admitted she regretted missing our wedding. Together we set new boundaries. Mutual respect, no ultimatums. Eventually, Jessica confessed her jealousy, and though it was painful, it became the start of a slow reconciliation. When Lily was born, my family came to visit, completely enchanted by her. Healing wasn't instant. Old habits resurfaced and I had to reinforce those boundaries again and again. Through it all, I realized something important. Sacrifice should never mean erasing yourself. Real family respects your worth. And I'll raise Lily to know that love never requires blind compliance. Have you ever had to set tough boundaries with family? Share your story in the comments. If this resonates, like, subscribe and pass it on, because sometimes the hardest choices are the ones that help us grow the most.